Welcome to chapel at Hardin-Simmons University. Here at HSU, we value the importance of gathering together as a community of faculty, staff, and students to worship God and encourage one another in our Christian walk.
This weekly time together is an opportunity for us to grow as a community of worshipers as we study the Word of God, engage with dynamic speakers, and learn to do life together. No matter who we are or where we've come from, this is our time to learn,
Grow,
serve,
love,
and worship.
Welcome to chapel. We're so glad you're here.
Good morning, friends. We are so glad that you are here with us this morning for chapel. I invite you to stand and worship as we sing about God's great love this morning.
1,000 generations falling down in worship to sing the song of ages to the Lamb.
Come on.
All who've gone before us and all who will believe will sing the song of ages to the Lamb.
So sing your name.
'Cause your name is the highest, your name is the greatest, your name stands above them all thrones and dominions, all powers and positions. Your name stands above them all, and the angels cry, holy, all creation cries, holy, you are lifted high, holy, holy forever. If you've been forgiven and if you've been redeemed, sing the song forever to the Lamb. And if you walk in freedom, and if you bear His name, sing the song forever to the Lamb.
Come on, sing it out.
We'll sing the song forever and amen. And the angels cry, holy, all creation cries, holy, you are lifted high, holy, holy forever.
that praise this morning. One of the things we like to do in chapel is read scripture together. So let me read our passage this morning. This is from Romans 5, verse 8. But God shows his love for us in that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. This next song that we're going to sing talks about the depth of that love that God has for us. It's a song called Sinking Deep. And I want you to imagine as we sing this song, how many of you have ever been to the ocean? Have you been to the ocean? Okay. Maybe not the ocean, like a really, really deep swimming pool, okay? That moment where you jump in the deep end or you jump into the bottomless ocean and the water just completely consumes you and covers you and there's no depth and it fills in every place and it's all you can experience in that moment. That's the metaphor that this song is trying to help us understand, that God's love is so deep and so consuming that you can sink fully into it. So as we sing this song today, just want you to remember that passage we read, that while we were still sinners, we didn't know God, we didn't care about God. He came and died for us, loved us before we ever loved him back. So as we continue to sing and worship this morning, let's think about that.
Standing here in your presence, in a place so relentless, I am won by perfect love, right within
God, we love you. We thank you so much for bringing us here into this room. We thank you for the opportunity to encounter you right now. God, we're so thankful that you chose to wake us up today to bring us here. We thank you for an environment where we can openly worship you. I pray over this message we're about to receive, I pray that you would speak through our speaker, and I just pray that you will have us receive and apply whatever it is you want us to hear. We love you and we praise you, and we'll never stop giving you thanks. Amen.
Thank you all for worshiping with us and for being here. You're loved. And as we're moving into our message, if you can turn to your neighbor, ask them if they had a pet dinosaur. What dinosaur would it be, and what would its name be?
Hello. Good morning. My name is Elizabeth Norman. I am the university librarian, and it is my distinct honor this morning to introduce my friend and former student worker, Roy Juarez, Jr. I realized when Roy worked in the library that he had a talent for communication, often because I had to remind him that he was also there to work. So Roy's not only a gifted motivational speaker, but he's a man who puts his words into action. He is a CEO, he is an entrepreneur, he is an author, and this year he is one of our outstanding young alums from Hardin-Simmons University. I know the message he brings today to you will be special, and without further ado, here's Roy.
Yeah, we've known each other for 20 years. That ages us. Good morning. Oh, come on, Hardin-Simmons. Good morning. Much better. First, before we get started, I first need to, God, thank you for allowing me this opportunity, but please forgive me for all my sins. I feel this is not my normal place of speaking. I go to high schools, colleges, universities, conferences all over the nation and the world as a motivational speaker, but I never thought that I would be doing this. Why? Because I grew up as a homeless kid. I first became homeless at the age of 14, eventually with my 9-year-old sister and 2-year-old brother. So the idea of being a CEO, being a college graduate, having anything was not part of this dream, right? Was not part of what the future was going to hold for me. My thought was, I'm going to work 2 or 3 jobs, and I'm going to make sure that my 9-year-old sister and then my 2-year-old brother are going to have a future, even if I give up my own, right? We had to go into hiding from my biological father because he was so violent that he wanted my mother dead. And every time he would find us, we would just take the sheets off our bed, put them on the floor, put our clothes in the middle, and run every single time. And it got to a point that we were constantly running from this man, that the same cops kept coming over and over and over. And my mom ended up meeting one of the cops, and they started dating. So if you're single, forget Match.com, call 911, it works, right? So my mom, she's dating this cop, and my dad finds us again. And I remember, he looks at my mom and he tells her, "You were such a good woman. You were such a good woman that you shouldn't have to go through this." He says, "Why don't you come live with me?" And as a teenager, I'm thinking, man, this is a great idea, right? Because my dad's violent, this dude's a cop, we call 911, he's there, right? Like, it's gonna work out. But he looked at my mom and he said, "But I have one catch." He says, "I don't want kids." And at 14 years old, right, Every time he would find us, I started to protect her. I started to fight her so that fight him so that she would have enough time to run. Right? So this is my mom. This is the woman that I love, that I trusted. So I know what she's going to tell him. So she looks at him and she says, okay. She says, okay. And so I'm 14 years old and I'm like, what do you mean, okay, Mom? Mom, what do you mean, okay? Like, what are we supposed to do? Like, Mom, we don't even need him because it's always just been us. Mom, we don't need him. I was 14 years old when I became homeless in the streets of San Antonio, eventually with my 9-year-old sister and 2-year-old brother. And I thought to myself, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? How am I going to keep them safe? How am I going to feed them? So Hardin-Simmons was not even in the view, that idea. High school wasn't even in the view. Where am I going to find a place for my little brother and my little sister? My grandmother finally says, well, yes, Roy, I can take Danielle, but mijo, I can't take baby Ray or you. When my grandmother had 2 spare bedrooms, 2. And I asked myself as an adult, how in the world does a 16-year-old, a 15-year-old, a 14-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 2-year-old become homeless when you have 8 uncles and aunts? Especially in my culture, as a Latino, we talk about being all about family. Really, then where were they? Where were they? But you know what that tells me and what that taught me? Is that we have to be better people. We have to be there for each other. We have to love each other more. We have to help each other, not push people away. And I said, Grandma, just take Danielle and I'll figure it out. She took my baby sister. My best friend's aunt, a woman I didn't even know, she says, Roy, I'll take your baby brother. But I'm so sorry, hijo, I don't have room for you. When I didn't even need a bed. And those words, I don't have room for you, have echoed in my ear ever since. I don't have room for you, because I have seen her mentality all over this nation. I don't have room for you. Because they love to give that thought process a different label. I don't have room for you. Some people call that racism. I don't have room for you. Some people call that classism. I don't have room for you. Some people call that politics. Just because someone doesn't look like you, act like you, or talk like you, that doesn't mean we push them out. Please, please make room for everyone. There should be room for everyone. And I said, Miss Carmen, just take my baby brother. Just take my baby brother, because as long as he's safe and as long as he's eating, I'll figure it out. And I remember walking my baby brother into Miss Carmen's house, and it being one of the hardest things that I ever had to do, because I knew that I was about to leave him the same way that our parents had left us. And I can't tell my baby brother, mijo, I can't take care of you. I need you to be safe. Mijo, I don't know how to feed you. Mijo, at least you have a bed. Because to his 2-year-old little heart, he was being left again. And I knew he felt what I felt when my parents did that. Because as soon as we walked in, he stuck to me like chicle, like gum, right? And he stuck to my leg, and I would be like, Ray, mijo, I need you to stay here, okay? I need you to stay here, but I promise you that one day I'm going to come back and I'm going to get you. And as I walked out that door, baby Ray followed me with his 2-year-old little eyes. And I had a bag about this big. And I had everything that I thought I needed to survive, because the last time I was in that one room that I shared with my mom and my siblings, with that one bed where we laid sideways, I looked at everything in my room and I asked myself, well, what can I take for me from this room that's going to fit in this bag? Because from this moment on, this bag's my home. So I took with me clothes. But you learn quickly to take plastic bags from the grocery store, because every time your clothes smell and you can't wash them, if you put them inside those bags and tie it up and put it back in your bag, it won't get your clean clothes dirty. I took with me a picture of my family, because there's something about being young, that you can be hurt and hurt and hurt, but man, you still love. And never lose that about who you are. Never allow your heart to turn so hard that you stop caring about other people and you stop caring about yourself. Never go there. We have to be the light that shines in this world. We have to be different. We have to be called by what God wants us to be. And so today's message is love beyond the comfort zone. It wasn't comfortable living out of that bag. It wasn't comfortable. Each time I went into a new home and they wanted something different, right? And yes, at that time, whatever they needed, I would pull out this imaginary bag and I would look at it and I would ask, well, man, who do these people want me to be? Because if I could become whoever, and in this world that we live in, the reality for when I graduated at Hardin-Simmons, 2009, there was 1.6 million homeless kids just like me. In this city, hundreds of homeless kids here in this city. Have you seen them? Have you seen them? Probably not. Because as a kid, a homeless kid, I realized that I had to become invisible. Because if I was invisible, you let me stay. You let me have one more meal. But no kid should ever have to be invisible. So when I was thinking, right, all right, God, you have me here. I mean, if you could use a donkey, you could use me. So what do you want me to share? And I was taken to the book of John, chapter 8. Anyone know the story when Jesus wrote in the sand? Then they all went home, but Jesus went to the Mount of Olives. At dawn, he appeared again in the temple courts where all the people gathered around him, and he sat down to teach them. The teachers of the law and the Pharisees brought a woman caught in adultery. They made her stand before the group and said, Jesus, teacher, this woman was caught in adultery. In the law, Moses commands that we must stone such a woman. Now, what do you say? They were trying to trap him. They were using this question. Oh, look, there, it's right there. They were using this question to trap him in order to have a basis for accusation against him. But Jesus bent down and started to write on the ground with his finger. When they kept questioning him, he straightened up and said to them, let any one of you without sin be the first one to stone her. He again stooped down and wrote on the ground. At this, those who heard began to go away one at a time. The older one first, until Jesus was left. When the woman standing there, Jesus straightened up and asked her, woman, where are they? Has no one condemned you? No, sir, she said. Then neither do I condemn you. Jesus declared, now go and leave your life of sin. You know, and I was thinking about this story, and not from the perspective of what Jesus did, but I was wondering, what does she feel like at that moment? What does she feel like being pulled and dragged in front of people who she knows want to kill her? That she knows her death is coming. I can only imagine the fear that she felt. All the eyes looking at her. I'm going to be really real with you. But I promised Dean Martin that I wouldn't say anything too controversial. So I'm going to pull it back a little. When I got here to Hardin-Simmons, I didn't look like you. I didn't sound like you. I had a lot of street inside of me. I looked so different that my best friend, Samantha Matha, who was part of a fraternity, they told her, don't hang out with him, don't talk to him. He's not like us. Jesus was the only one that was willing to stand up for this woman. He was willing to risk his own safety, his reputation, what the spiritual leaders might have thought of him, the Pharisees, even though they weren't fair, you see. Jesus was fair because he could see. He saw her humanity. The same way that Sam saw my humanity, that I was just a broken kid who didn't know any better, who tried his very best. Because I learned a lot of things on the street. I learned good and I bad, because some of the houses that took me in, when I moved in, they wanted things from you because you lived with them. And that is never okay. And in that moment, here at Hardin-Simmons, Sam stood in the gap for me. She said, you know what? I want nothing to do with your sorority. I'd rather have Roy's friendship. And to this day, we're still best friends. When I first came, the Christian love, or some people may call it the Christian hate, was so much that I would run to Ms. Norman's office, and I would sit in her office, and I would cry. I hate it here. I hate it here. I hate it here. And she would say, Roy, please. Roy, just give us a chance. How will we ever learn, Roy? Just give us one semester. And if you want to leave after the one semester, you can go. And I said, okay, Miss Norman, I'll give you one semester. By the end of the semester, the majority of the students were able to see my humanity and look past the labels that I was wearing. They were able to see past my brokenness. And more than half of them became my friends and opened up their hearts. But why? Why must we wait to see past someone's brokenness? Why can't we just love them for who they are and be that example to help them understand what true love is? He stood in the gap. I've learned something that I have applied everywhere I've gone all across this nation. If people can hate for no reason, then that means I can love for no reason. If people can tear down for no reason, then that means I can uplift for no reason. Be the change. Love past your comfort zone. Because it's easy to love those that look like you, act like you, smell like you, talk like you. That's easy. Is it even really love if we just love those that look like us? Or is that a selfish love because we just love them because they are us? True love, I'm going to love you even if I don't understand you. I'm going to uplift you. I'm going to get real. Sorry, Miss Martin. Dr. Martin. When I was in the dorm room, I always received the phone calls. Roy, come to our Bible study. Roy, come to our Bible study. What many people didn't know was that I was half PK, half pastor's kid. One day, I sneak into this hotel as a homeless kid to steal a meal. And as I'm stealing this meal, this woman comes up to speak, and I don't care what she has to say. I'm there for the meal. I'm eating. I've already been on the road, I'm living out of my bag for 2.5 years. Dropped out of high school, right, bouncing all around. And this woman comes out. She starts talking about her life. The way that she grew up on the third to the last street of Laredo, Texas, daughter of immigrants, and how she grew to be the highest ranking Latina woman in the combat support for the United States Army, broke all kinds of records. And I thought, man, if she could do it, I can do it. So I went back to Miss Carmen's house. I grabbed my baby brother, and I took him to this church that I had attended as a kid. And we literally sat on their front porch waiting because I knew they were going to have service that night. When the lead pastor pulls in, she gets out, and I said, hi, Pastor Doris. I said, how are you doing? She goes, Roy? Because I had attended when I was a kid. I go, yeah, yes, Pastor Doris. She goes, Roy, who are you with? I said, Pastor Doris, can I talk to you? She goes, let me open the church. So we go into the church. I put my baby brother, baby Ray, on one side. I follow her into the sanctuary. And when she turns around, she goes, Roy, and I lost him. I said, Pastor Doris, we don't have anywhere to live. And I was just thinking that maybe you'll let us live here in your church, and I promise you that I will clean it for every service it'll be. I will do everything you need. I'll cut the grass. I'll do everything. I just need a place for my baby brother. Because I was going to put him on a bus. He was going to go to school, and he was going to have his dreams. She says, Roy, you can't live in this church. And for a second, I thought I had made the biggest mistake. Because now he was going to be back on the street with me. She said, you will live with us under one condition. And it sounded great, but everyone had a condition, and sometimes they weren't good. So with all of this pain and all of this anger, it just came out. I said, what do you want? She said, I said, what do you want? Because everybody wants something. What do you want? And she said, Roy, calm down. She said, all we want is that you go back to high school. I enrolled as a third-year freshman, sophomore, senior. I graduate. I'm in community college. I'm not doing so well, where I'm about to get kicked out on academic probation. Some of you are on it. Don't give up hope. You're going to make it. She says, Roy, are you going to come hear our speaker today? I was like, nah, miss, I'm not coming. She goes, Roy, we have food. I'm like, miss, I'm going to be there. I don't have food for you today, but we do have free books in the very back that tell my story of this journey that I've been on. So please, when you leave here today, take a copy. And when you take a copy, come back. Ray, come here. And when you leave, I want you to say hi to my baby brother, baby Ray. You, because you were willing to see past my brokenness. The same way that Pastor Doris saw past my brokenness. Pastor Doris could have, when I snapped at her, could have said, get out. But she said, calm down. It's okay. It's going to be okay. We are here for a reason. The majority of you chose Hardin-Simmons because it's education enlightened by faith. You're here for a reason. Yes, 1, get your education. 2, be a beacon for others. But you can't do that if you're holding the stone to throw at the woman. You can't do that if you're holding the stone because you're standing in judgment. Put down the stone and show love, even if it's beyond your comfort zone. We have to love. We have to love so much that it may be uncomfortable, but it's fine. If Miss Norman would have just said, oh my God, and she probably did, oh my God, here he comes again. He's coming to my door again. I have so much work. I'm going to just lock it and close my shades. If she would have done that, I would not be here. Baby Ray would probably not be here. Love past your comfort zone. I graduate. I'm in community college. The dean asked if I would introduce our speaker. I said, sure, miss, who is it? She said, well, her name is retired Lieutenant Colonel Consuelo Castillo Kickbush, the same woman who at 7 years earlier was speaking at that hotel that I snuck into. I said, miss, I would love to introduce her. Nobody knew my story because I was taught to be silent. Have you ever heard the term, what happens at home stays at home? That teaches our kids to be silent. Without them even knowing, it takes their voice. You have to learn to use your voice. You have to learn to use your voice effectively, because if you don't learn to use your voice, that's going to affect every aspect of your life, from your relationships to your career, because you don't know how to use your voice. And that day, in front of my peers, the dean, Miss Kickbush, I stood there at my community college, and I said, hi, miss. Miss, you don't know me, miss, but I know you. Like 7 years ago, miss, like I snuck into this hotel, miss, and like I stole the food, miss. I'm sorry, like it wasn't even that good, miss, but miss, like I just want to say, miss, like that night with just your words, where you gave me a second chance at life, and look, I'm in college now. Imagine that. With just her words, she gave me enough strength to hold on for 7 years. Imagine what we can do with just our words. Now imagine when we put action behind those words. Call me optimistic or whatever, but I truly believe that we can change tomorrow if we just change a little of who we are today for the better. But that change has to start in us, and it's seeing beyond just what's around us. We have to love, even if it's uncomfortable. 2 weeks after that, I spoke at her book signing. Then I started to travel with her. That 2-month internship that she gave me turned into 2 years. And at the end of the 2 years, she says, Roy, you need to go. I said, miss, you're going to fire me? She goes, no, mijo, you can't work for me all your life. I said, why not, miss? Like, you pay me really well. She says, Roy, you need to go back to college, and you need to finish. Where do you want to go to school? And I said, well, where did you go to school? She goes, well, I went to Hardin-Simmons University in Abilene, Texas. I said, that's where I want to go. We have to love so much that people want to follow the path that we have taken. We have to love so much That they see brightness and a future in that love. I wanted to be just like her. So I applied. I got accepted, which means they take anyone. Half of you shouldn't be here, right? But thank God that they do, because you're here. Like you, mijo. Good job. I came here in 2005, 20 years ago. Thank God for Botox. I got accepted. In May of 2009, I went from eating ketchup packages on the streets of San Antonio as a homeless teenager to becoming a college graduate. But when I was crossing the stage here at Hardin-Simmons University, I'm crossing the stage, and all I can think about is, why me? Why do I get to make it? What about all of them, all the kids that are just like me? Do they get just as lucky that they have someone that stood in the gap for them to help them over? And I said, you know what, before I use my business degree, I have to give back. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to live homeless one more time, and I'm going to live out of my car, and I'm going to drive from LA to Florida, and I'm going to call this homeless by choice, because I'm homeless again. But this time it's my choice, not my parents, not my situation. It is mine. And I'm gonna just go speak at any shelter, school, any place that would open up their doors. I'm gonna find them, whoever them is, whatever label they may wear. I don't care. I'm gonna find them, and I'm gonna tell them, don't give up. Life gets better, but you have to be here to see it. No grants, no funders. I crossed the nation, and I realized that we are a hurting, broken nation, with people just all holding stones, ready to throw at each other, to destroy each other. We have to put our stones down, and we have to love more. I decided, you know what, I can't just cross this country. There's too many hurting kids. I would speak somewhere, and I would have a line of kids telling me about their life and what they've been through, and how their family's broken. Crazy stories that I heard across this nation. I said, you know what, I have to do more. I have to do more. So I decided then that I wouldn't just live out of my car for 6 months. Instead, I'm going to circle the entire nation and give myself a goal to reach at least 100,000 kids. I lived out of my car 2.5 years, no grants, no sponsors, a tour that ran me over $200,000 of money I had to raise along the way. But I was able to speak to over 108,000 kids. And my phone has never stopped ringing. I crisscross this nation and travel abroad, trying to bring hope in such a dark world. Sometimes it's hard to see the beauty of life. But each and every one of you, for those that chose to come here because it's education aligned by faith, you have it. You have it in here. The worship team, you have it. Don't cover it. Don't just surround yourself with those that have the same light and you enjoy each other's light. We just come here to learn, to be equipped. The real work is out there. So when I was receiving that call in the dorm room, come to our Bible study, come to our Bible study. Finally, I accepted. I'll go. So I go over there and I sit there and I'm listening and they're preaching and they said, Roy, would you like to receive Jesus? I said, well, I already have him, but okay. They're like, no, but we really want you to be saved. I said, let me share something with you. I always get your phone call to come to this Bible study. But when I look outside my dorm room and I see all of you walking across the street to get coffee, there used to be a coffee shop. I said, I never get that call. So if you're going to be my friend, be my friend. Don't be my friend because you're hoping to get a jewel on your crown when you get up there. That's not the reason. Be my friend. We have to love beyond our comfort zone. We have to love the way Christ loved. He risked it all. He loved so much that they killed him. He stood against everything. I actually wrote something down that I was like, I really want to read it because I thought it was pretty powerful. And trust me, it's something that I practice every day too. Sometimes I'm like, oh, Lord, I don't want to love that person. But I guess I'll try. The Pharisees idolized their laws, traditions, and power more than God's love and justice. They were more loyal to their systems than the heart of God. So much that they rejected Jesus himself. Imagine that. So loyal to their systems and laws that they rejected Jesus himself. Don't be a Pharisee. Truly, truly have Christ's love. And that's what we're called here to do. So, once again, well, hold on 1 second. I promise I'll find it. I will repeat this. If people can hate for no reason, then we can love for no reason. If people can tear down for no reason, then we can build up for no reason. And if Jesus was willing to stand in the gap for someone who no one else defended, then maybe it's time we do the same. We have to love. I will say that Hardin-Simmons has my heart. Did everyone here stand in the gap? Absolutely not. But that's real life. Not everyone's going to stand in the gap for you, but when you find those that stand in the gap for you, you don't let them go. You hold them close. And you do this thing we call life together. Right? But Hardin-Simmons, I love you. I have always loved you. Because for me, this was home. I came with 8 boxes, and it was everything that I owned was in that dorm room. And when summer came and everyone got to go home, I just crossed the yard and moved into a new dorm room. This was my home for 4 years. And because of you, I did a lot of reflection and was able to pay it forward. However, I must announce this. My baby brother, baby Ray, Mio, come up here. He is single. I'm joking, Jesus. I'm joking, Jesus. But he is. Come up here, mijo. When I first came here, baby Ray was like, he left me again. Even though I left because I was trying to fight for a better future for us, right? I think he finally understood. And a couple of months ago, baby Ray said, you know what, Roy? I think it's my turn. He goes, I think it's my turn. I want to do the Homeless by Choice tour. I'm going to live out of my car, and I'm going to cross the country, and I'm going to find the next generation. So my baby brother has been living out of his car for 2 months now, crossing the nation, trying to find the next group of young people to tell them, don't give up, that life gets better. So it's an honor to even have him here for this special occasion. But another reason why it's very special is that today is his 30th birthday. So will you join me in singing happy birthday? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, baby Ray. Baby Ray. Happy birthday to you. And many more. We are blessed to be able to be here today. I don't know what we would be if someone didn't love beyond their comfort zone. I don't know where we would be if people didn't put down their stone to see past our brokenness, to accept us, to help us, to guide us, to teach us, to love us. Even when many times I was probably unlovable, but it wasn't because I was trying to be difficult, I was just scared. Because every person that I trusted at that moment had let me down, had broke my heart. And so my walls were so high, I needed somebody to stand in the gap. Please, stand in the gap for someone. If there's a person or a group of people or someone that you're holding a stone towards, put it down. We have to be the change. We have to love beyond our comfort zone. Guys, thank you so very much for having me today. And I truly, truly, truly appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Can I take questions? Do I have time? No time. No time. Go learn.